Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my first reaction to pre-release Battlefield 2042. If anybody doesn't know, which I'm assuming most people do, you can purchase a premium version of this game and get access to it before its launch. That was on the 12th, and what a launch it's been. So I can't actually bring you gameplay, guys, because I can't capture this game at all. Believe it or not, this game is so CPU dependent, it doesn't use my graphics card, and I have no real way of knowing why, or any real way of fixing it. I've gone into NVIDIA settings, I've gone into all different types of settings, I've done a whole host of different things, and the game completely bottlenecks my CPU at 100%, and it uses about 1% of my GPU. My GPU is a RTX 3080, and it is literally not being used, and I get anywhere from around 100 to 160 FPS with incredible stutters the whole time. The game is a piece of hot dog shit and runs like a total mess on PC, especially on my PC. It is borderline unplayable in several different aspects, and because it is using my CPU exclusively and forcing all of this intensive weight, I'm at the point where I can't do anything else. So when I try and capture it, the capturing is just all encoded and erroring out and just fucking awful. And I can stream it, but then you're at the mercy of the problems with the game itself and a few other issues that are just really fun to deal with. So in the background of this video, there's probably going to be some Back for Blood or something like that, because I simply can't get you gameplay. I've been trying for the last 2 days to do so, guys, and I've tried NVIDIA Shadowplay, I've tried OBS, and it's just, this game does not sit well with my machine. Gotta beg harder, guys, and get that second PC to record, you know, solely on and play games on the other one. But there's just going to be some thoughts in this video, some frustrations and some observations and some advice. We all saw this coming. I'm not angry at all, because I knew from the beta that this game was going to release like this, and I knew from the track record that DICE has, it was probably going to end up this way. No one's really surprised. I think some of us are quite surprised just how bad it is, and just how shameful it is, considering that they are industry leaders of one of the most popular, one of the most globally saturated company when it comes to the power and influence that they wield, and this is what we get, and apparently this is what we paid a premium price to get, which is so insane, isn't it? But the first thing I want to say, folks, is that the console version, from the people that I've watched on YouTube and on Twitch, seems to be running decently for those people, and they seem to be having a good time. So I can't really speak about console, but from the users that I saw, it seems like the game is surprisingly well optimized for it, and they're having a good time. And I'm happy to hear that. It's nice to know that somebody is. I am not having a happy time with the game. I'm having no happies at all. It's absolutely hilarious. And I'm gonna port some footage from my stream over to the channel so you can see the game a little bit and just see some of the stuff that's happening over there. It will be taken from the stream, so the quality will be a bit lower, and I'm not going to be able to do anything with it because I don't want to download it, edit it, cut it back together, and then recompress it and make it look even worse. So there will be some footage up there, guys, in spite of the issues that I'm having. But I want to explain a few things. Firstly, do not buy this game. Please do not buy this game. There's no reason to do so. I went all in on this game because I wanted to do it more so as an experiment in optimism, which I knew was flawed, but I did it anyway. And I get to ride this roller coaster into the pits of hell as it burns into majestic ash. You don't have to do that, so please learn from this. The second thing is, don't pre-order the game, don't buy the game, do the EA trial instead. So if you buy Game Pass and you get the version that gives you access to EA stupid app thing that fucking sucks, and I hate it, when you get access to that, you can play this game right now. You can play Battlefield 2042, and you can jump on, and you can test it, and the app says you can do it for 10 hours, right? This trial is a 10-hour trial window, but if you do buy that Game Pass that gives you the EA Pass, you'll be able to do it indefinitely while you have the EA Pass. And some people can get Game Pass for like $1 or £1, and it will give you all of the access to this stuff, so you can pretty much get all the first impressions and all the understandings of the game that you want to get without putting down any of the money. And you can jump on right now, you can see if you like it, you can see if you enjoy the state, you can see if you're willing to put money towards it and to commit to it and hope that DICE fix it and bring releases and help. And it's the best way to understand whether or not this wonderfully flawed launch is for you. If you do it the other way, you're going to end up being hurt in some way, and I just don't recommend it. But let's jump on to the things that just shout and scream to me madness in 2021 in video games in general. So the first thing is, of course, the PC version is an unoptimized piece of dog shit. It runs like garbage. It is bad in so many ways, and then there are things on top of that which have just taken it to an extent I just can't even follow. So if you remember, I made a beta video saying that I thought the beta was fucking appalling, but there was a good game underneath, and if they could fix it and tweak it and make it a better version of itself, it could be really exciting. Well, all of the exciting parts of the beta are gone, because the two things that were really driving me was real aim. So when you point your dot on people and you shoot at them, when the reg wasn't being wonky because of servers and weird beta problems, the gunplay felt good. Well, now, all of the wonky reg, all of the wonky server bullshit, all of that is still present, if not worse, and it also has both spread, bloom, random bullet deviation, whatever you want to call it. You will shoot at people for 30 rounds and you don't know if you're going to kill them when your dot is on their bodies because of Battlefield's obsession with making guns inaccurate for no other reason than fucking immersion. So the shooting is appallingly disgusting, and if you want to see a good example of just how bad the shooting is, guys, play All Out War, play a couple of rounds, then go into Portal, jump into Battlefield 3 on Portal, or even Battlefield 1942 and check the reg. When you aim at people on those modes, your bullets reg, it feels amazing, it feels like a functioning video game, and that is a remaked asset from a game that is over a decade old. Just think about that, right? The most modern version of Battlefield, you can't land a bullet, but in that mode, every bullet lands and it feels amazing. It really is just a very strange contrast, and you've got to feel it, guys, because if you haven't, you'll know exactly what I mean. So the gunplay is completely destroyed in the most recent version of this game, and it's just not fun. It's so much worse than I could have ever hoped. And then they gutted the movement. So if you don't know, guys, the people higher up in this company, they said, let's make a Battlefield like Modern Warfare 2019 and Warzone because those games are really successful. Copy and imitate the shit out of that game and we will have a successful brand, right? And that's what they essentially did. They've homogenized and bastardized Battlefield into this Warzone weird movement clone, and you could tactical sprint, he held the gun up the same way, you could jump during gunfights and you were really mobile, really fast and bouncing, bunny hopping and all this madness. You could do all kinds of cool slides that were really long distance. The movement was, for lack of a better word, essentially Modern Warfare 2019, but not quite there, right? And I liked it. I liked it because I like fast movement, I like responsive movement, I like jumping, I like being able to use mobility, I like being able to outplay people and having a skill ceiling on mobility to give me an edge in a gunfight. Well, that is gutted, completely gone. They nerfed the jumping, they nerfed the bunny hopping, they nerfed the distances on all that stuff, they nerfed the slide distance, the speed of the game feels nowhere near as fast as it did in that beta, so all of the stuff I was looking forward to no longer exists. We've got the biggest Battlefield ever made with movement speed nowhere near capable of covering the distances because they want you to use vehicles, and they've increased the vehicle cap so everybody uses vehicles, and it's literally vehicle farm the game, and infantry fucking blows. Why would you ever do it? So, immediately, that is an issue that you feel straight off the bat if you're a player such as myself. And then you have the game mode atrocity, which I'm just stunned and baffled by. So All Out War is 2 modes, it's Conquest, it's Breakthrough, that's it. You physically cannot play any other game mode in this game without using Portal. And Portal doesn't work. The preset stuff that's been built, that people were lucky enough to do frame 1, exists, and the stuff that DICE have built exists. But you cannot make your own server because the quota for the servers has been exceeded, and it was exceeded on the very first hour of the game releasing pre-launch. All I wanted to do, guys, was make a server, jump into it and learn the game, and I physically couldn't make that server, and it took me 2.5 days to get into my own server. So I couldn't play the game my way like they'd advertised. I couldn't play the game at all. It took me 2 days to play Portal to begin with because it was just a fucking mess. So you can't even use portal mode. Then when you try to play against humans, the game errors out, crashes, you can't get on the server, you get DX12 problems and all this other bollocks. So I couldn't even get into lobby with players, so the only thing I could do was play with the bots on my own in the all-out war mode, where all it did was showcase how big the maps are, how dead the maps are, and how shit the shooting is, and how lame the movement is now. So it wasn't the best of experience, but at least I was leveling the guns, I was leveling my character, and I was learning the game, right? So that wasn't so bad. And then it turns out a bunch of people created XP farming game modes in Portal that DICE somehow didn't foresee, didn't have the precognition to understand that humans will literally do the path of least resistance for anything they fucking can to get instant gratification and ahead of the curve. So all the servers were immediately filled up with these XP farming bullshit that DICE apparently never even remotely assumed people would make. So what did they do? They limited your ability to make servers, which fucked up Portal even further, and then they completely turned off progression in that mode for your weapons, for your mastery skins, and then gimped the experience that it gives your character. So after the first day, it went from being able to play the game your way, as they advertised, like some crazy McDonald's advert, but with Battlefield, to you have to play against humans, which you fucking can't do because the servers won't let you, and when they do, the game crashes. And that's the only way you can level the game. So you physically can't play the game at all. So yesterday I just stopped playing and did other things because it was just completely untenable and obnoxious. And of course, this does not speak for everybody. Everyone's having different problems. Everyone's having different issues. Some people are getting on, some people aren't. Some people are getting weird bugs, some people aren't. This is a typical thing that happens when all hardwares are different. But fundamentally, it's completely unacceptable. A lot of people paid a premium price to get fucked and not even be able to play the game. People couldn't even get on the servers. People couldn't access Portal. None of this was even remotely where it needs to be, and it makes no sense. And a lot of the fears that people had were just the tip of the iceberg. It's just insane. It is absolutely insane. And the spread. I don't want to go too long here, guys, because I really don't have anything more to say than it's in a fucking state, and DICE have said they're going to do things, but when will they do things? When it launches day one, where everybody else jumps on it, and it's still in a massive broken state with a huge patch to try and help that fixes almost nothing. And then there's people saying that it's a great game, so if they listen to those cunts, we're all doomed. But I just want to talk about spread, guys, because spread is something that Battlefield has always had, and it's something that occasionally can make the gameplay more skillful. But there's a difference between spread and just the hit registration not working. And when you combine very spotty, questionable servers, very spotty, questionable spread, bloom, recoil, and just really shit game that should have had an extra year dev cycle because it's in a terrible space, you get a game where you can fire 50 rounds of an LMG into a person's body and not even hit them once. And I recently was putting up footage of Battlefield 1 to give you an idea of what this might look like, because those servers are in the fucking toilet, and the spread in that game is kind of a joke with the LMGs, with how they work. This is worse. It's way worse. And this was the one thing I didn't want out of everything. All I wanted was real aim. I wanted real aim and I wanted movement. The only place you can get those things is if you create your own Portal server based off Battlefield 3 or 1942 and increase the movement modifiers. And it's a shame, guys, because you probably can't create that Portal server because it won't let you, because a bunch of arseholes decided to cheat the system. Welcome to Battlefield 2042's launch.